So this is Neptune and Athena. Neptune's the beautiful purple one with the disturbance on his shoulder again. And Athena is his little wife. And they have our very first baby. This one is 24 hours old and growing like a weed. And there are 4 more embryos. 3 more embryos in there and 1 blank egg. I will probably end up freezing the last embryo to keep them to 3 because I already fostered one of their embryos over here. So that's probably what's going to happen. Okay, I got to put this down in a minute and put that nest box back up. And that is Pewter and Lemony. They're on their last day of medication. Pewter still, well, he actually looks okay right now, but the ones with the most stubborn, bulging crops are waiting until the very end to start looking better. I think there's a mechanical aspect to it. Like, what it is they had an infection that made it hard for them to move food from their crop down into their intestines. So it would stick in the crop and then, you know, they'd get gassy from it. So it might be that some of the ones that have had it the longest or that were most susceptible to it will have some kind of scar tissue around the exit from their crop into their intestines that will always make them a little bit slow to digest. Or maybe it will just take time for it to really heal all the way. So we'll see what happens. But I know that more than 50% of them that had the big bulge actually got over it. So that's a good thing. So that we have our first baby here. We have an embryo count that says we have 3 more embryos to go, and there's one that I moved because it was late. What I did was I culled her down to 5 because I wasn't sure whether I was going to foster her babies out or not. And then I took like the 6th egg, and then all of her older eggs looked well developed, and then all of a sudden she laid another one, and it was way behind. So I fostered it over here. So these 2, they had a second embryo, but I could tell because I looked at it today. It would have been 4 days in, and it just wasn't developing right. I could tell yesterday because usually you can see a heartbeat by 2 days, 48 hours. And yesterday it had been 72 hours, and all I saw was a red line. A circle still on the yolk. So I could tell it had stopped developing, and today it indeed has turned to mush. So they have 1 of their own embryos and 1 of theirs, and I may slide another chick on them at some point depending on how they hold up as parents. So these 2 have 4. I culled 1 embryo off of them. They had 5, so she has 4 eggs because I couldn't tell. I let it go a little bit too long because I was being indecisive about who was going to get their extra embryos fostered. So what happened was I went back to cull her down to 3, and her 4 oldest eggs were all completely filled in, so I couldn't tell which one was the oldest and which one was the youngest, and I didn't want to just randomly freeze one and have it turn out to be one right in the middle, so there'd be a big gap. So I'm just going to let her hatch out 3 and then freeze the last egg. Unless I end up with more room for it, like I could put it here, or we'll see. These guys are due to start hatching babies tomorrow. This is Ocean and Misty, and they have 5 embryos. She had laid another egg, and I took it out. 5's enough, because I'm only going to foster 2 over to the little guys. I just checked these guys. This is Khalil and Demeter. Demeter was paired with Hephaestus, who had proved infertile over and over again, and just did it again. So I'm really hoping they're going to have some fertility. But she has 2 eggs in there, and I'm not seeing anything yet, but that doesn't really mean a lot because they have been on medication, and that can slow down the males, and although I have seen them breed. And, you know, it could just be that I'm not seeing something is starting to happen there. But and it's very common for the first, if not the first and second egg, to be infertile. So we got miles to go, so I'm not at all giving up hope on those two. These two, this is Snow, and where is Cumulus? Oh no, this isn't Snow and Cumulus. This is Shu and Aura. This is the male right here, my great big recessive pied guy. And Aura is clearly in the box. Very nice. They are getting their last day of medication today, so, but they are too. Aura had a big bump, and it's gone now. So she's clearly completely cleared. And he also had a great big huge bulge. In fact, he was one of the original birds I pulled and put in that cage over there. But his went down so obviously, and he was so feeling better and aggressively ready to mate that I said, all right, he's fine. So these two still have their 3 little embryos in there. And although her first egg was due to hatch 7/12, her first 3 eggs were infertile. So one would have hatched there, would have hatched the 14th, would have hatched the 16th. So the 18th is actually the expected hatch date. Although I will check every once in a while just to see what's happening. Miss Blanca down here, I just washed off her hind end, so her tail's all wet. But she's actually, you know, persisting and feeling a little better. There looks like there's less inflammation down below. However, she's still not pooping normally. It still looks like it's just leaking out. However, it's the right color. It used to be only the white was leaking out, which is a bird's version of urine. And now she has feces coming out too. And that's a good thing. It sounds nasty, but it's a good thing. So I don't know. She's definitely eating and drinking, and we're just hoping. So, this is who I thought I was talking about before, Cumulus and Snow. And they have been off their medication for 24 hours, and as I suspected, I'm starting to see little sparks fly in here. Snow has filled out. Her breast is starting to fill out with egg weight, and Cumulus is starting to spark, and she's going in and out of the nest box, so I'm hoping. These two tried before, but like so many others, proved infertile. But then so did Steel and Pythos, and so did Mist, and so did a lot of other birds. So did this guy over here. So I know it was because they weren't feeling well. So this is Lava and Malachite, who have laid their first egg. Have a long ways to go. And here is Tuscan and his girl Zinnia. Zinnia is in the box, but not in a big hurry to lay. They're eating their spinach leaves right now. But they are in love, and there is sparks flying and fires being struck. So, again, they just got off the medication, so she's going to start feeling better, because the medication makes them nauseous. So she's going to start feeling better very soon, and the minute she does, I know that she's going to turn into an egg-laying machine. So, this is Marble and Prussian, and Marble was one that had a big, heavy crop. It wasn't the worst extension that I had seen, but she had had it for a long time, and she is clearly feeling a lot better, and sparks are flying here too, and she is in and out of the box as well. It's kind of hot in here, so she's sitting there with her wings out a little bit. And this is Bubba Jr., whose girl, their first egg is due to hatch on Thursday, and every single egg has embryos in it. So I expect a baby on Thursday. No blanks in there. And this is Toby and his girl, Lavender. Also was one of the ones with a big bloated crop that I initially put in here, and hers is completely gone, although they still have one more day of medication. So some of them have made a major recovery, but a lot, like, so this guy right here, that's Bear Grylls, and that is his sister down there, and she had the worst. I mean, it was so huge it was deformed, and she looks a lot better, but I still see some bloat there. And Bear Grylls is completely gone. This guy has been bloated since he was a baby. And I always thought he was just fat, but maybe he's had this for a really long time. But you can still see he's very, his front is very pouchy. And these guys down, this girl, that's having a brain fart. That is Remington. And she has made a huge recovery. She had a big bloat too, and she, it's gone. And that's her Razzle. And now I'm beginning to wonder if maybe the reason they didn't breed is not because he aged out, but because both of them felt bad. But we'll see. And there is Sprite, who eats quite a little bit, but still has the big bloat. And this little girl, Hestia over here, also has a big bloat. I had my lacewing in here, and he was clearly dying. So I caught him and put him over here, took him off the medicine, and gave him electrolytes. And as you can see, he's got this great big bloat going because he just drank a whole bunch of fluids. I suspect he just stopped drinking the medicine because it made him feel bad. So he may not have gained any kind of recovery and just been so dehydrated that he was getting ready to die. But I don't know. He's never been a well bird. So I would just like to see him get comfortable. And then I would happily move him along as a pet. He's a beautiful bird. He just isn't constitutionally strong. So, okay. And these guys are all off the medication 24 hours and clearly starting to feel better, including the little yellow-faced girl who's now, she had been sitting on her perch for quite a long time, and now she's flirting with her man. So I'm hoping she's going to move into a nest box very soon. And the other nest box all have eggs in them. So I put a hatch date here, 7/24, 7/24, and I think this one's 7/22, because I need to know when to clear out their eggs. I haven't even checked them to see if they're fertile, because I'm not planning on keeping any of them. So they're going to get pulled when the foster birds have their third chicken nest, and I'll pull the rest of their embryos and drop them on these guys. Trade them